We want to welcome everyone to class. We want to trust God that you had a good day. Um, of course, there will always be one or two things that will try to distract you from your studies. We want to encourage you to look beyond those distractions and get a bit more focused. It's not been easy anywhere, but persons have overcome challenges to be where they are today. In this class today, we want to discuss staff selection and then other things that has to do with staffing. Recall that staffing is one of the essential responsibilities of the manager. So you can't discuss administration, management, and supervision without discussing staffing. As a way of general introduction, we want to again remind us that in staffing, the administrator makes effort to match candidates with jobs, ensuring that round pegs are fixed in round holes. It's a common English saying when you hear that a square peg is fixed in a round hole. So when we say a square peg is fixed in a round hole, it simply entails there is a mismatch. But if the organization is to optimize success and achieve the result for which they are set for, then round pegs must be in round holes. Having said that, staffing stages consist of human resource planning and recruitment. Now, it will involve the recruitment of staff, selection, development, utilization, and then accommodation of human resources in the organization. The selected person should complete the recruitment process knowing the mission and objectives of the unit. As an extension manager, you don't go about recruiting persons who do not know the reason why they've been recruited. So they need to know the mission statement, need to know the objectives and the goals of the organization. That should be a major highlight of their recruitment process. Then, having done that, we also expect that recruited persons should know their responsibilities, levels of responsibilities, and levels of authority in the organization. What degree of accountability do we expect in the organization? We expect managers to be accountable. It's very crucial because if a manager is not accountable, it won't be very easy to trust such managers with resources. Now, by way of also general introduction, the recruited person is expected to know the procedure followed by the organization to accomplish job tasks. Dear participants, at the end of this class, we expect first that every participant, every candidate should be able to discuss staff selection. And then we also expect that you should be able to highlight the difference between staff selection and recruitment, identify recruitment methods, then discuss the role of interviews in staff recruitment. We've always encouraged you to look beyond grades. Look beyond grades. You are not in school to pass exams. You are in school to acquire knowledge, and education is an aid to effective living. So what we expect is that while you make efforts to pass, but that should not be the goal. Your goal should be to know these things. As I've always emphasized during our physical meeting, it's good to pass yourself before the lecturer comes to pass you. So we move now to the next main topic we're going to consider. We've done the general introduction. We want to discuss the issues relating to staff selection. Staff selection. This is what every manager would do. You must select persons who would work with you within an organization. Now, the recruitment program supplies enough job applicants. Recruitment program, it will involve advertising and then people that are applying. After the recruitment program must have been exhausted, the next thing is from those who you must have recruited, you will need to start the selection process. In most organizations, there is a specific unit that takes care of this. For us in the government formal setting, we have what we call the personnel unit. The personnel unit. But you know, everything is going current with current names. I know there is a beautiful name now. They are called the human resource managers. The human resource managers are given the responsibility to ensure that the process of staff selection goes seamlessly. So, what this human resource management does is that they are involved in the screening of applicants to determine who will be sent to the managers for final selection. Selection standards should have reliability, meaning that they consistently produce the results, and then they should also have validity, meaning there should be high correlation between the test scores or ranking and success on the job. It's out of place to give individuals tests or evaluations that is off their job responsibilities. So you need to make sure that this process is quite valid and also reliable. In addition, selection standards must have job relatedness. What we're saying in effect when we say job relatedness is that it should be relevant to actual performance of the job and must be legally acceptable under the uniform guideline, but not having an adverse impact on any legally protected group. Well, let me give you an instance. You may not want to employ a lecturer and then be asking questions that has to do with security work. Of course, the questions you ask if you are recruiting a police officer will not be the same as when you are recruiting an academic staff. So staff selection must, as a matter of importance, tune in line with what the job target would be. The major sources of information about applicants are from the application forms. Sometimes organizations may have specific tailored approach in the application, and it's advisable. It's advisable that you have a specific approach. When you leave it open-ended, you expect that people may fill in whatever things they want. You end up having information that are not necessary for the organization, and then sorting also becomes a problem. So most organizations would have a format, where they say name, date of birth, qualification, years of experience, family, marital status. Have a clear cut outline for those who are applying. So that by the time you're coming in to do your selection process, you won't be trying to place hands everywhere because there is a format already on ground. Selection test, that's the measure of proficiency, achievement, or knowledge, aptitude, or potential ability, mental ability or intelligence, personality, physical ability, and interest are usually administered and then evaluated before the final stage of the selection process. I think I've listed the things that make up the selection test. And I want to encourage everyone in class to please make sure you don't miss any one of them. Selection tests will involve measures of proficiency, achievement, or knowledge, aptitude, or potential ability, mental ability or intelligence, personality, physical ability, and interest. So that's the bit I think that you need to know when it comes to staff selection. Next is that we're going to look at staff recruitment. We're going to look at staff recruitment. There is the idea that oftentimes students would mix up recruitment with selection. Ideally, recruitment is related to selection, but they are not the same. Staff recruitment and staff selection are two very important processes that organizations use to find qualified people. They are very, very crucial. But look at what happens in recruitment. In recruitment, the organization will simply advertise and then encourage qualified people to apply for work within the organization. And then selection is the process of choosing among those who must have applied. Please, let's get this very clear. Recruitment comes before selection. Recruitment is the first concern in staffing and then should be taken carefully because selection is done where there is due process. Actually, selection is done within recruitment.